Yo, welcome back to the Nerds with Glasses podcast, your number one gaming podcast on YouTube. I am your host, Knowledge.
And I'm Javi. Before we get started, guys, we just want to let you guys know about a little something Mike has been working on for a little bit.
Yeah, well, we've been partnering with two other game movie makers. You guys probably saw our commentary, but we have a website now called gmdb.tv, which is Game Movie Database. And it's the number one spot that you can go to watch game movies. It's just like a Netflix for gamers. And it's not only our game movies or our partners, but everybody, the best of the best that we get.
Yes. And it's, we don't have all the games everyone wants to watch.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity. If you want to look for something else, it might not be here yet.
Yeah.
But we have more people now.
And we're taking requests and everything and on the website. So go check it out. If you're a fan of game movies, you won't regret it. But this week is a somber week. We're going to start off, I guess, in a somber way to pay our respects to Satoru Iwata.
Yes.
I can't pronounce it, everything right, but I'm gonna say Iwata.
Yeah,
we
Iwata,
just say Iwata. I'm sure you had to say it differently. Mr. Iwata. He passed away at the age of 55. He had bile-duct growth, is a form of cancer, and I know he battled it for a while. And even for a while, the people thought that he had beat it already. But
it seemed good for a while. I mean, granted, cancers affect people in different ways. You know, some of them do take a lot out of people. Some of them you can live normally. But they're there. Yeah,
and the thing with him too is, one thing that people are saying, like, wow, I can't believe that he couldn't get it treated, but he's a millionaire.
I'm sure he got it treated.
I'm sure he got it treated, and I'm sure it's just there's nothing you can do. You know what I mean? And I know with cancer, one of the worst things is stress. Like, that just makes things worse.
Right.
And being the president of Nintendo has to be
the president of anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be stressful. But especially
whether you're successful or failing,
but especially something like Nintendo that has it's a 100-year-old company, over 100 years. It has one of the biggest legacies to live up to in any market of anything. You know what I mean? And I know it had to be a stressful thing for him. And he showed his strength by continuing to work all the way to the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't let people know that he was ill or anything like that. It happened.
It was one of those things where, like, it's his thing to deal with. He didn't want it to be reflected towards everyone. He's dealing with it.
So we wanted to talk about him for a while. We wanted to talk about his legacy, his time, like what he accomplished in his time at Nintendo. Is Nintendo better off because of him, or is it not? I mean, we're gonna be fair about it. We're gonna pay all our respects to him, but at the same time, we gotta be realistic about the situation. So first off, just about the man, he was a programmer at HAL Laboratory, and they made a bunch of good games.
They pretty much didn't. He and whoever else, I forgot who. They started it up.
Yeah.
They were just programming games, making games, like just little things that they had fun with, and they're like, you know what? Let's do this. We're just messing around right now. Let's get serious. Which I'm sure they were always serious.
Yeah. And I think his first game was Balloon Fight.
That's the first one for Nintendo, I believe. I'm sure he had before that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he made a bunch of little, but
yeah, I remember I heard of like a calculator game that he made, But for Nintendo it was Balloon Fight.
Yeah.
Which very old game.
Yeah, a lot of people might not remember that. I mean, it wasn't like a big hit or anything, like, at least not in the States. But what it did hit for him and his company, and it was Kirby. I would say probably one of the first, and Earthbound too. And then Kirby was actually for the Game Boy first. Like, that's when it didn't come out on consoles first. It came out on the Game Boy.
Right.
And then Earthbound is kind of this. It's not a massive franchise, but it has a cult. It's a cult following to that game.
Like, it has a very strong, devoted fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, those characters are in all the Smash games.
Yeah.
And we've never. At least I haven't played many Earthbound.
No, to be honest, I never played any Earthbound game, but I've always heard good things about it.
It's a similar thing with Captain Falcon. Not everyone knows his name.
Yeah.
But there's a very strong F-Zero, they love the game.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not his, but I'm just trying to get.
Just saying. One of the coolest stories that we heard that caught my eye was the fact that he was able to create a compression system for Pokemon Gold and
for
Silver.
Gold and Silver, which is I think one of the only games I can remember having the ability to go through 2 different regions. Like you go through all of Johto and then you go back to Kanto, which is the original.
Yeah.
And I guess Game Freak or who I think it was Game Freak.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough memory. They couldn't fit it on the device.
Yeah, they basically had pushed the game to its limits. Yes. You know.
And they're like, dude, we can't fit anymore. Like, this is where our game has to end, and it's not what we wanted. And then Iwata just went in there, was like,
just like a thug, just
let me just make this compression right now.
Yeah, just hold on, it'll be all right. Don't worry. Yeah, he compressed it to the point where they were able to fit double the size of the game on one cartridge. That's a programmer right there. That's insane. And he also did other stuff like I think he modified the code from
Red and Blue. Yeah, well, yeah. Red and Blue version to make Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah. And so like he had stripes, dude. Like he had real programming under his belt. It's not like he was just some business guy who ended up becoming the president. Like he was on the ground floor. He was, in the trenches. Like he understood what it was to make games.
Yeah, he produced Smash, the original 64 Smash, which there's an interview. I forget if was it an interview?
No, it was a speech. Okay, it was a keynote speech. Yeah.
He was talking about how the higher ups didn't like the idea of Nintendo franchises fighting each other. Yeah, understandable. Why would you want a game where everyone you love is trying to kill each other?
And what did he say? He said, beat the heck out of each other.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, he's like you Americans say, you beat the heck out of each other. Yeah.
So he had he wanted the game to be made. Yeah. He really was pushing it, and he even said that it wasn't until they started playing that they're like, you know what, this is a game.
This is it. Yeah. This is a game. And he said that was one of the best moments in his career.
Right. I think he meant that also is just the fact that getting people to play a game that they don't like, or getting people that getting people that don't think this game is going to be something they like. Yeah. I think he just loves that idea.
Yeah, to be able to change somebody's mind about something, that's a powerful thing. Like that's probably one of the hardest things to do in the world, is to change somebody's mind. And like all these higher ups were dead set that they didn't like this idea. They didn't want their mascots to be, doing violence on each other. Especially with Nintendo's image. And he was able to change their minds. That's how good the fucking game is, And it just shows you his type of mentality as a gamer. And that's the thing too about him, is that he always said that he's a gamer at heart, and that's what drives him.
And that's what he finds everyone can identify.
Yeah, that all of us are gamers. Yeah. And I think that's so true, especially now. I mean, people try to say, nowadays people play on their phones, and they'll play Candy Crush or something. And of course, you don't want to call those people a gamer necessarily, but that's what they're doing. They're gaming. And I think he foresaw that.
Yeah, he was talking about the Nintendo DS, I believe. Yeah. How he didn't just want it, people didn't have very much faith in it. I guess not as much as the Game Boy. Like, they didn't think it was going to be the next Game Boy.
I don't see, it's funny thinking about it now, and you're just like, why did they think it wouldn't work?
Right, it's Nintendo handheld.
Where are we going wrong here? What are you talking about?
But it was the whole fact that, he made the DS as a way to try to not necessarily get gamers to play with each other, like you would think. He wanted just people to play. Yeah. There's so many different games. There's the Tamagotchi kind of game, which is I think it was Dogs. I forgot what it's called. Nintendogs. Thank you. Yeah.
Brain Age is another a different type of game that not the traditional gamer plays, but other people enjoy.
And now it's on a console that.
Yeah, and now those type of games you see on handhelds all the time too, or more so on phones. The crazy thing too is that the fact that they decided to use the touch and you can't give them all the credit. Of course, there is thousands of people down the line working, but the thing is, he oversaw all these things. He led them in that direction, and it's like they say about leaders. Like if you're a true leader, you know, when things go good, you give credit to all your workers and people, and he always did that. And when things go bad, you take all the blame. That's what a real good leader does, and that's what he always did. But he did oversee these things, and you think about it now, it just seems like a manifest destiny now. It just seems like, of course, touchscreens are gonna take off a core. Like, hello, like, are you kidding me? But that was before smartphones,
before they were super prominent.
Yeah, and that was they look so far ahead into the future. Because and Nintendo always does this because they're the only ones who really take risk, which has made them billions of dollars, and it's also lost them billions of dollars. You know, like we always talk about how the Wii had motion controls and stuff, but that was around with the glove. Remember the glove in the 80s? You know, like it was a much more primitive version of it, but they were trying that then. You know, like they were trying that 20 years ago, and like they always take risk. And like I said, it's hurt them and it's helped them. Yeah,
and it's funny. Like you have to find the right moment to bring those things back too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna bring it back now. He's like, you know what? I think it's time.
Yeah, this is the time when it's gonna work, and that he understood that. But just getting back on track with his legacy, I think the one thing that people really identify with him is just happiness. I don't know. Every time you see him on the Nintendo Direct, or if you saw him at E3 or something,
just
like,
think about the last not this last one that passed, but the last year where him and Reggie duked it out. That was like.
That was just like, yeah, exactly. Like you don't see any executive doing that. Like you know how much that must have taken them days to film. You know what I mean? And it must have been he must have been really busy at the time. And if you guys have never seen that, absolutely go watch it. It's the intro
to the Nintendo Direct of 2014.
Yeah, 2014 Nintendo Direct for E3, and you'll see it's him and Reggie Fils-Aimé, and they have like a little Smash Brothers fight or whatever, and they're just bashing on each other like if it was a game, and they use all this crazy special effects, and it was funny. And no other president does that. Who does that? You know what I mean? Only he does that. And it's not like we knew him too well as a personality. Like we only ever saw him doing speeches or stuff. But I think that a lot of people just have strong strong feelings about his personality and what he brought to the table. You know? Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about him is just, okay, so let's talk about the nitty gritty. Let's talk about his time over Nintendo, which was from 2002 up until when he passed away in 2015. There's a lot of ups and downs here. Now, what I want to ask you is, do you think that he leaves a positive legacy for Nintendo? Or
yeah, you know? I think, I mean, granted, the Wii U has been, you know, on the bad side of things for now, but I don't think it's where the point where it's doing bad and it's somewhat failing, but it isn't like a complete failure. You know what I mean? Like, well,
some people would disagree with that.
Some people would disagree with that. Yeah, but I don't see it like as a complete failure, as something like, you know, unfortunately, like the Dreamcast just it was great. Yeah, you know, that was something that was great and it just disappeared. Yeah, you know, like. I think I guess he got Nintendo. Like Nintendo is so big, anyways, that doesn't really matter right now. At this point, even if they do fail, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I don't see them like going in a bad light. Yeah. Like, you know, the DSs have been somewhat the same, but they've been being modified, and they're still great. They're probably not as popular as they were back when the first DS came out. Yeah. You know, and the GameCube, which is my favorite, didn't do so well. Wasn't so hot.
Yeah, it was the lowest selling console of that. Well, I guess the Dreamcast was, but that doesn't count because they just went out of business. Yeah. You know?
But I still think that the GameCube was my favorite by far. And then when the Wii came around, I do agree. I didn't play many games on it.
Me neither. I mean, like got it.
Somehow Nintendo was able to stay relevant with that. Yeah. You know?
Well, yeah, I would say so. I'm gonna go. Let's go from era to era. So in the beginning, it was the GameCube. Now he didn't oversee the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. He got there maybe a year or two after when it had already come out. I think the GameCube maybe sold like 30 million, maybe less than that, 25 million consoles, and the other ones sold just as much. Or of course, the PS2 sold 100+ million, and the Xbox probably sold 25-30 million. So it's considered a failure, and because it kept dipping and dipping from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo to the 64, the GameCube. Each next iteration just sold less and less consoles, and it was considered a business failure. But like you said, it was your favorite.
It's like, it's one of those things. It's like these people say these things. It's like, who are these two people talking? Like, I've never heard anyone, like, you know, obviously you hear online, especially, but like anyone, like if there wasn't online, it's like, who would have ever said the GameCube was a failure? You know, like, anyone you know is like, the GameCube was a failure. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like I owned all those consoles at one point. I mean, even if it was late. And to be honest, like, the GameCube is by far my favorite one for gaming. Like, the PS2 had some good games, Kingdom Hearts, God of War. I know it had GTA, but so did Xbox had GTA as well. But other than that, I mean, like Ratchet and Clank, I guess, like I wasn't too into it.
Well, I didn't. Maybe it's the whole thing. I did get a GameCube. Like, I was raised like with the Game Boy, DS, and then GameCube.
Yeah, so you have a Nintendo legacy.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get the PlayStation until PlayStation 3 was almost going out.
Yeah.
And I didn't get an Xbox 360 until like the end, like the very last month. You know, that it was still super relevant. You know, before all the other systems started coming out.
Damn, that's really late.
Exactly.
So I mean, there's a bias for you. I think for me, like, I've always loved Nintendo, but I like the other consoles too. The other thing too is that the PS2, for example, did have some great exclusives, but I just didn't play them. Like, I'd never been big on Metal Gear Solid or Final Fantasy, and like, I know those are good games. It's just not for me, you know. Right. So I'm not completely bashing the PS2, but for me, my memories in that era was either Halo, the game chain, like, you know, Halo, and I don't care what other game you name, I just said Halo, and that's it for Xbox. And then for GameCube, I think of Wind Waker, Mario Kart, Double Dash. Double Dash is my favorite Mario Kart other than the Super Nintendo one.
Right.
And honestly, Double Dash is my favorite, but I'll always say Super Nintendo because it was the original one.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, the nostalgia wins over.
Damn it.
What else? Smash Brothers Melee, the best Smash Brothers ever made. Better than the 64 one, and better in Brawl, and better than the new one.
The trash.
Yeah. Super Mario Sunshine.
Luigi's Magic for me.
Yeah. Rogue Squadron. I played the shit out of that game, and that was really hard to beat.
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, which came out on the GameCube first, before it came out on the other ones. Metroid Prime. I love 1 and 2. You know, we just have certified classics on here. Plus, at that time too, as after Sega went out of business, as far as consoles go, like, remember, a lot of the games started coming over.
I really like Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. I don't know if you remember that game.
No.
That was like a Sega game that came
over
to the GameCube. It was only on the GameCube. I can't even find that game anymore.
And it'll probably be worth a lot of money then. We better find it then. I remember Sonic. They brought over Sonic Adventure, which was really good. I mean, I had a Dreamcast too, so that was a really good game. But they had a bunch of classics, and I don't know. I just have the fondest memories of that. But I you know, I understand that at that time, that's when a lot of things started shifting, where people were like, "Oh, these Nintendos for kids," and I think the main thing that hurt them, to me, is that they didn't have the highest selling game of that generation, which is Grand Theft Auto. Right. And Grand Theft Auto in that era had a bunch of gems. Do
you know if it was because of hardware, or was it because Nintendo's policies?
No, I don't know why. I imagine that it had to do a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think it might have been because of hardware, but then they used the policies as the excuse. You know what I mean? Because I remember they had games that were several discs. Like, I remember having...
Was it Resident Evil 4? 2 discs?
It was like 2 or 3 discs, yeah. Like, they had... I remember one having 3 discs, for sure. I don't know which game. So, I'm sure that was a limitation, but I think that's what really it was. But I remember them hearing about the policies too, how that, you know, they're a family console and so on. So I think that hurt them a lot. That hurt them a lot, because when Grand Theft Auto hit, it was a phenomenon. Like
Right.
when Grand Theft Auto 3 hit, and then they had San Andreas and Vice City. Like we're talking about some of the best games ever made.
Right.
And it just helped to push that whole persona of Nintendo's just for kids, even though Nintendo is really for hardcore gamers and then kids.
It's just that,
side.
just like we were talking about, like it's just so accessible. They want to just be accessible.
Yeah.
For everyone. They don't want to have like too much of a what is it called, limitation on who their audience is, which I can see why, you know. For example, Nintendo wasn't super big on the tournaments because
Yeah.
you know, they didn't want to limit their game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but and then I guess that has to come from Iwata too. Then that's Iwata's responsibility. That's his vision of it.
And it's one of those things like I think he'd rather, you know, risk the console than risk the image that they have.
Yeah.
For the thing, which I mean, I wouldn't say that's a failure. That's, I mean, a bad business.
Yeah.
You know, but
for now, right now.
Yeah.
I guess it depends too, because okay, we'll get to the Wii U, because like when we discussed this before, like I don't think the Wii U is a failure because it's bad. I think it's bad marketing. And I think that's the main failure that happened with the Wii U. Otherwise, it would have sold just if there was a lot of families playing the Wii, you know, playing Wii Sports, and if they knew there was a new console, I think they would have bought, you know, a bunch. You know, a lot of people would have bought it, but I don't think people knew it was a new console. They thought
that, and they didn't really have any lineup.
Yeah, that's true too. They didn't have any games ready. But yeah, as far as GameCube goes, I would say GameCube was not a business failure, because it's not like it didn't sell. It's not like the Wii U. You know what I mean? People had GameCubes, like,
right.
And they were cheap and affordable, and they last forever. and I know they sold a lot of games. Yeah, like you can just your little lunchbox and throw it at somebody. But I think it was a success as far as games go. But I guess it was a business failure if you compare it to the other consoles of that generation. But then the other part of right after that is the Nintendo DS, and I think that's where it's just you, like, if you're making an argument, you just put the DS on the table and walk away.
Just drop it, like,
yeah, because that's the highest selling, right? Or the second highest selling.
I think so. Yeah.
Like if you consider handhelds a console, then it's the second or the first highest selling console ever.
And it's one of those things, like, you want every single one that comes out, even though they're the same.
Yeah, you just want the upgrade, just like people with their phones. You know, they want to upgrade every 6 months.
Like, granted, I didn't buy every upgrade. I had the original black light. I didn't have the original big one. I had the light. Then I bought a DSi, and then I bought the 3DS.
There you go. Well, the 3DS is different.
It is different,
because it's a new console.
But I so, like, it still plays a lot of DS games, so I consider it fine.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but I mean, it's technically a new console. Yeah. Let's say. You think they include that in the numbers? The 3DS sales?
Probably not.
I think it's different, right? It's separate. And the 3DS actually, it started kind of slow, but it's picked up.
Yeah, because they also, for some reason, they just didn't have a lineup.
And marketing. It's like it was like, okay, is the 3DS like, is it the next, like, is it like the light in the eye, or is it a new? You know, they totally messed up there. I don't understand why they did that. But yeah, the DS, and we're listening to a video where he's like, at the time, people thought that the PSP was gonna destroy the DS, and like you look back now, and you're just like, what?
And it's funny, and when you think about it, it's like, how didn't it?
Yeah,
you know, it had movies, music,
it had everything.
Games like that were, like, you know, for a handheld, unimagined kind of. Like, you couldn't imagine that on a handheld before.
It hardware wise, it did it, but games wise, it nothing. It was nothing.
It was so weird without that second analog.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, okay, for one, the movies, who cares? Like,
no, I know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, that's why it didn't, because it was like, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't want to watch a movie on my handheld. You know what I mean? Like,
you'd rather watch on your phone.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that killed it, to be honest, is that, well, I guess not really, because the DS is highly modifiable too. But like,
you can buy the cartridges.
Yeah, the R4, I think it's called. But the PSP was notoriously Like you
It's
can,
like here, plug it into the computer and you're good.
It's jailbroken, take it, put whatever you want.
$50, please.
Yeah, to be honest, on my PSP, I had I had Game Boy games, but like their lineup sucks. Like their God of War took a while to come.
Yeah, it didn't come out till like near the end of the PlayStation cycle, PSP cycle.
Yeah, they had a GTA, but you know,
so did one of the DS's.
Yeah, it had Chinatown Wars, and it was good too, and it was original. Like I think the one on the PSP was a port.
Mm-hmm.
It was a port.
Yeah,
of
San Andreas, right?
Yeah, I think it was like the PS3 or Vice. I don't know which one, but
Vice City might have been actually.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but I didn't. The only game I played on that was like Final Fantasy, the fighting one. I forgot, Dissidia, I think.
Okay.
That one was cool. That was about it though.
On the PSP?
And Birth by Sleep.
Okay,
those
on the PSP.
only,
but those, I don't know.
Came out after, late.
Like Crisis Core.
That one was kind of early, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Earlier than like Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
But that one was good too.
But like, my question is like, what? I guess because at that time, the like Final Fantasy and Metal Gear was transitioning.
Yeah, and because like Crisis Core was for Final Fantasy VII, which was on PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And they had already moved on to. Yeah. You know, so fans of the Final Fantasy VII, you know, probably went out and bought a PSP for Crisis Core.
Yeah, true.
But people that had been playing the PlayStation, for example, they didn't know Final Fantasy VII. They knew the newer ones. They're like, why would I want to play Crisis Core?
Like, what the fuck is this?
And also, it wasn't like the traditional turn-based.
Yeah, it was different. It was one of the first ones that was
like action-oriented. Besides Kingdom Hearts, which I don't know if that counts.
Yeah. See, I wish they would have had. See, yeah, it was when I had my PSP. The one game that I always played was Tony Hawk.
Pro Skater 3, right?
It was it was Tony Hawk. It was Underground 2. They had like their. Okay. It was like it was called like Remix or something. Like it was at that time I was in college, so like I would play, and I didn't have a DS at the time, so like I had my PSP because I could mod it. Like so I was like in college, and I would just take it when I go on the bus or go walking, and it was fine. But at the end of the day, it's like there weren't that many games that I could play. And the thing is, like, you know what?
They didn't have Pokemon.
They didn't have Pokemon. And I played the Game Boy.
Pokemon.
But yeah, I played that. But it's not like the PSP was a failure either. Like the PSP wasn't a failure. The PSP.
No, it's just when you compare it to the DS.
Yeah, like when you compare, I think the PSP sold somewhere between 20 and 30 million, which is good. I mean, that's successful.
Especially for handheld.
Yeah, but whereas DS sold 150 million. Yeah, it's just like a drop in the water. So Iwata has to get credit for that. Mm-hmm. And then we'll quickly go through the Wii and the Wii U era. Like I said, and the 3DS. The Wii, I will say, is a failure for gamers, but a business success. It didn't have enough good games, in my opinion. I played Twilight Princess, and that's it. You know, in the beginning, and then from there I played maybe Galaxy when it came out. I didn't like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers Brawl, of course.
Mario Kart was horrible on that. I don't know why they made it. It sucks that they try to make, like, have motion controls. Don't limit the game because of them.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing you could possibly.
Yeah, because and the reason you say that is because it's so slow.
Yes.
And the reason it's so slow is so the motion controls can be
we like
more
motion controls, but not. Please don't make it your main.
Yeah.
Like that one Zelda game, what was it? Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
It had some motion, but it was cool. It wasn't. I didn't want that to be the only thing, which I was glad it wasn't the only thing you needed to do.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, and the thing about that one, remember, is that you needed the Motion Sensor Plus, or it came.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be you just blow your fucking brains out. Don't play this game. Like you either needed the controller that came with the Motion Sensor Plus, or you needed the actual.
Or the adapter, right?
Yeah. Which I got the controller because I love Zelda, so I bought the shit. But that's the only games I played was Brawl, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and then Mario Galaxy. I can't think of any.
I really want to play Mario Galaxy, but I can't think of any other games besides Brawl that I played.
By the way, Wii Sports is the shit. Okay.
No, Wii Sports, but
yeah, like
I was trying to think of like the bigger name games.
No, me too. I agree with you.
Because the boxing, dude, I was a champ at my house.
Oh, you're the greatest.
At my house,
I was the greatest digital tennis player to ever live.
Tennis, bowling. The bowling was great.
Yeah, dude, it was fun, and the whole family like my mom liked to play it. You know, my dad would play sometimes. See,
so and then that's like when you say it was a failure for gamers, I don't think it was a failure for gamers. I just don't think it was made for specific gamers.
Okay, so it was a failure for hardcore gamers.
Yeah,
it was a failure.
It was a success for gamers because so many people that. Like, I remember seeing, like, my grandma started playing one of the Wii games. I think it was was it the boxing one? I think I saw her playing the boxing one.
Okay, see, yeah.
She's never touched a video game in her life, but she played the boxing one.
She liked it, yeah, and then she enjoyed it.
She had no idea what she was doing, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the controls were so wanky anyways.
And to be honest, like, whether you think it's a failure or not, which I do as far as gaming goes, it did, for better or worse, start a revolution of motion and like like kind of not even virtual reality, but I think it built up to that now. But like the whole motion thing with the Kinect and the PS Move camera, like I hate all those things.
Don't they have like a Wii Remote also for the PlayStation?
They do? Oh, it's like a wand they call it. I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it does.
But I think that's connected to the camera.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just remember that because I've seen the controller and it has like a little lighted up ball on the end of it, so that's all I remember.
The whole motion sensor thing, like, you cannot deny the impact. It had an absolute impact. For me, negative, because I don't like any of that shit.
It's sad that the best one was the Kinect.
Yeah,
that was the best one.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it.
No, it really was too. But even then, they don't develop enough things for it to be relevant. Yeah.
Like the best thing they had were the dance games. If you like dancing games.
Does it look like I dance?
No, I'm just saying. Those were the best. Like that's where they put all their like R&D, is that research and development for the Kinect was. How can we make dance games more better? I don't know what the word would be.
Michael Jackson, the experience.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was a family thing, like that too. Like people would enjoy doing that, but whatever. That to me, the Wii is a business success, a gaming failure to me. The Wii U and the 3DS, I think, are both good platforms, and the 3DS is successful both ways.
But like you said, early on, not so hot.
Yeah, early on, and honestly, to me, is a complete and like the whole, and especially because it came out around the same time. The entire, like, if I'm Iwata, I walk into the entire like fucking promotion office and just be like, just like.
So did we forget to hire these people?
Yeah, like, do you guys do anything, or do you just add a new letter?
They just hide. They just hide when anyone comes by. They just hide all together, all at the same time.
Yeah, like, man, if I were Iwata, I would be pissed the fuck off, because I'm just like, really? We called it the 3DS? We couldn't call it like the Game Boy Revolution or like, the Nintendo something.
I'm glad you're not a promoter. But yes, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Next is a good name, and that has me like pumped up or something.
The Revolution was good when we had the name.
Yeah, it was.
And the Revolution.
Yeah, and the Wii. Okay, Wii wasn't bad, whatever. But
Wii
U.
It's like, come on, bro.
I don't know what it is though, because
the Xbox and PlayStation do it.
Exactly.
They just changed one thing.
Yeah, and then for some reason, I don't know.
It's because they were trying to do the same thing. Like, I don't know what it was.
Well, you know what it was?
The Game Boy Color, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy.
Yeah.
Original.
Well, Game Boy Color is an obvious one because there was no color before, so it's kind of like. Yeah. And then the Game Boy Advance, it's like. Yeah, you know what? Game
Boy Advance SP.
Part of it, but see, that's still a Game Boy Advance. Still a Game Boy Advance.
The DSi.
Yeah, but see that people know it's an upgrade.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. They know those are upgrades.
Oh, so you're saying that they don't know, like, not that the names are bad. It's just that at least they know it's the next one in line.
Yeah, I mean, like, that a Game Boy and a Game Boy Advance are two different things. And that a Game Boy Color and a Game Boy is two different things. Nintendo DS and the Game Boy Advance are two different things.
Did they even show the console when they showed the Wii U commercial?
Okay, that's exactly what I was about to say. I think that was their main issue. Remember their first trailer was just like the pad. So everybody thought it was just like, oh, it's a new like attachment to the Wii. I'm like, I'm not buying that shit. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't remember seeing. I literally never
seen the console.
I never saw the console till like 5 days before it came out. I literally never saw it.
Oh wait, it's not. It's a new console.
I was like, wow, oh shit! I gotta start saving my money. Like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, I think that was a complete and utter failure. But
promotion
wise, the Wii U is actually not a terrible console.
Hyrule Warriors, whether you like it or not, is pretty good. I know a lot of people don't like the being a god the whole time. You know what I mean? Just destroying everything. Bayonetta was really good, but I don't know how many people actually played it.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 was pretty good.
Was it a Wii U exclusive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pikmin 3.
And I love Pikmin. I never finished the first one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I've always just loved the game. It's a really cool, just different thing that I personally never played before.
Yeah.
Smash, of course.
Smash is really good.
The Mario Kart, even though they fucked up battles.
Yeah, it's still like the racing is good. It's fun. And they actually have like a sort. Well, here's the other thing where they fucked up is the
Splatoon.
I
was saying, I guess that's a good game. I've never played it. But everyone loves it.
Yeah, everybody likes it. We haven't played it, but everybody says it's good. But I mean, where they messed up to me is still the internet. Their Nintendo.
Well, maybe we should look at Splatoon because it has, online. Maybe that one. Maybe that's a stride in the right direction.
Maybe, but I'm like the Mario Kart has online, but it still just doesn't feel like when you're playing Xbox Live. And I guess it's not supposed to because that's not what they're going for.
Like you said, as much as I don't even think they hide it. They are for kids. They're probably their main target.
Yeah, now it is, but I don't understand why they're shunning the 40-year legacy, 35-year legacy of gamers that love their stuff. So, I mean, how much of that goes on Iwata? I don't know. I mean, he did lead the company, and it's a failure. So, and he took responsibility for it, and that's what I love about him, though. Like, he took responsibility for it. And there's that story out there that people always talk about the fact when, like, the Wii U was clearly becoming a failure, and there was danger that people were going to get laid off. He actually cut his own salary in half just so people wouldn't get laid off. Like, to me, that's a real leader right there. You know what I mean? And he was man enough to accept responsibility for all the bad, and he was gracious enough to dole out all the praise when stuff was going good, So, I don't know. Where do you think Nintendo goes from here? Like, do you think that are they gonna get like some fresh? I haven't read that they have announced a new president or anything.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Maybe it's too they just disrespectful to just sign your new. I don't know how they work. Granted, a business, I don't think they care. They want to keep running.
Well, and also cultural things too. Who knows how it works in Japan? They might have like what's it called, a moratorium or something like that, where there has to be a respectable amount of time.
And I'm sure he was the head, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that were also helping him out. So it's still going to be able to be good for however long they need.
They'll be fine. But with new leadership, there's also chances of like new direction. And there should be some sort. So
and granted, with the next coming out, it's just going to be interesting to see how it's taken. Upon with this new person, whoever takes over, whoever it decides to be, if Maybe he won't have the same vision for the next as Iwata did, which I'm sure they're gonna hire someone like that. Yeah. But it's still, granted, we don't know anything about the next. Yeah. They know everything about the next, So.
Yeah. So there's nothing we can do but wait and see. But it is an opportunity, I think, to hire somebody who might see gaming different. I think that there is a way to keep it a kid's console, but also balance it. So, it's not like it has to be a completely Xbox, PS4 hardcore gamer.
I just think I bet you Iwata or one of them higher ups just went on one game of Call of Duty and we're we're not having that. We're good.
Not and they've had Call of Duties, but you're saying it's just more the whole general
the community, at least the one that the vocal community anyway. Those are always the worst.
The first game he hops on, get right, oh my god.
I'm killing you and you're
This is why they don't allow chat on Mario Kart. You can only say pre-specified things.
Okay. That's the only disrespectful thing you can say. Okay.
But you know what? Overall, we just want to pay our respects to Mr. Iwata. It was a sad weekend when I found out, and we were watching a video I was tearing up, just because it's sad. We're such a gaming in general is such a young community that there still hasn't been very many like figures like him that have passed away. You know what I mean? It's still something that people were just they're just surprised.
A lot of the ones that do pass away unfortunately go unnoticed because they weren't so in the forefront. Like people know about them, but no one really like. They're not such a big, I guess, name. I don't know. Not trying to be disrespectful to those people. I can't think of another way to describe it.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. It's just like movies, motion pictures have been around now for almost 100 years. You know, and so like every day you'll hear about somebody else, Paul Newman or somebody passing away. You know, that happens fairly often. Like people who are icons. Mm-hmm. And in the gaming is still, I mean, it only started in the late 70s, so it's still something fresh that we just haven't had that many people like him pass away, and it's just it's a really sad thing to hear about his passing away. But he left a good legacy, and like they say,
Nintendo has the best legacy.
Yeah, Nintendo has the best legacy, and he contributed a lot to that.
Yeah, it's really.
So the best way to me to pay your respects is play Smash Brothers or play Kirby. You know, play something where
play as Kirby in Smash Brothers.
If you want to go the next step, play as Kirby in Smash Brothers, or play as Ness in Smash Brothers, and drink one to Iwata. All right, but we're gonna switch gears. Get to some gaming news during the week that happened. This next thing is about Activision and the shadiest practices in the business. To me, you didn't think it was that big of a deal. I think this is
because I haven't played the game.
Okay, but so Activision released a bundle for Prototype 1 and 2. They call it the Biohazard Bundle. They released it on the Xbox One and the PS4. Right? They're charging $50 for it.
Right.
Now, there's a couple of things that are weird about this. For one, you haven't seen a trailer. You never saw anything about it. It was just like, today.
You
like,
did see a trailer, though.
Now, after the fact.
For the backwards compatibility. That's what you saw the trailer for.
Yeah. The backwards compatibility.
You should have known that when that happened, Activision would be like, no.
Okay.
We can't do backwards compatibility because all our games are now on the Xbox.
Yeah. Mother. So this
got ahead of the curve by being behind it. Though.
Yeah. And this is my thoughts is what happened. And now that you think about it, about E3 and the way they phrased this, Microsoft said, like, we have to get the approval of the companies in order to make them backwards compatible.
Makes sense.
Right? So it's not like they can just... To me, that doesn't make sense. To me, I mean, it makes sense business-wise, but to me, it's like, what? Like, why can't they? What do you mean? It's your hardware. Like, it could be backwards. Unless there was some sort of contract that said this is only works on the Xbox 360, then okay. But I think Activision said, oh, shit. Like, we have to move fast in order to sell this stuff. So what did they do? Instead of just making it backwards compatible so everybody who's owned the game can play it again, they bundle it up. They don't do anything to the game. I don't give a shit what they say. Like, I've seen the videos. They say that it has higher resolution. Okay, it's at 1080, fine. But the textures don't look better. They look this. I mean, we've been talking shit about remasters for the past year anyway. About
that we all bought.
Yeah,
and we bought every single one.
That we bought. Yeah, and I had to though. But I had to buy it. I had no choice.
Now you have to buy the prototype.
No, I'm not. No, and that's the thing. I refuse to buy it. I refuse because this is the worst. The worst. The other ones, at least, okay, they're definitive editions or whatever. They actually put in some work to put in new textures and whatnot. And this one, they literally just stretched out the texture. 1080, go 60 frames per second. Like, this game does not look that much better.
See, that's it. And I can't comment on that because I never played original Prototype, so I don't know what the hell it looks like.
Yeah.
Like I said, the game looked fine to me, but I didn't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
You know?
But, okay, I'm telling you that it doesn't look better, so is that shady? Now, the other part of it is... The other part of it is...
It's something shady, something that's kind of like... people don't usually do.
Yeah.
It's Activision. It's not shady.
Yeah. That's just Wednesdays for Activision.
It was a Tuesday.
Yeah, like Tuesday we fuck people over. Wednesday we take the money in, you know. I mean, I guess the other argument is too, PS4 doesn't have backwards compatibility. So what about all the PS4 people? They need to have a bundle.
PS Now? They don't want it on PS Now?
Yeah, put it on PS Now. Why not? Exactly.
Not anymore. They can't anymore because now there's a game for it.
Yeah. No, well, you can, but what's the point? Like, you know, I guess you could if you just wanted to play it for a day or two.
Yeah.
But, and the thing is, it's not like the games are bad. The prototype games are fun. They're good. You know, both of them are good. I think part 1's better than 2, but still, they're still good. The question is, are they gonna do this for Call of Duty? Nah, and that is
they're not gonna let it be backwards compatible, and they're not gonna make a remaster for any of them. I think.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they would. The remastered maybe. I don't think they would let it on backwards compatibility because they have a new game coming out. Yeah. They don't want competition for that game. Yeah. You know.
That's true. And a lot of people would go back to the old games.
Yeah, and I don't. That's one of the other reasons I don't think there would be a remaster because they don't want competition for this new game yet. Yeah. You know, if anything, maybe they'll do it like in the middle, between the two cycles.
So next year.
Yeah, next year between the cycle of this one and the Infinity War.
Yeah, when all the interest goes down. Yeah, I could totally see that, but you know what sucks was like right after they did the E3 thing, Microsoft put out a survey asking people like, what games would you want if you could? What games would you want to see backwards compatible?
Red Dead was one.
Red Dead was one. Black Ops was two. So like, and then Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 were like 3 and 4. You know, like all the Call of Duties were the top ones because Call of Duty has a big fan base on Xbox.
It's one of those things like one of the reasons I don't think it's gonna be anything. They don't want to work on the servers that they have to. Yeah. Like, how much more people would be playing, you know, if this happens?
But the servers run through Microsoft.
Well, I know they run through it, but like they would have to like whether it be Microsoft or them, someone has to look into it because there's too many hackers. Yeah, like it's ridiculous. Yeah. You know how many
on the older games.
Yeah, like you play Modern Warfare just 2, for example. You get in a lobby, you're like, why is everyone in an airplane? Like, you know.
Why is everybody in God mode and just doing whatever they? Why am I 10 prestige? This is my first game on the
Exactly. It's just like
okay, what is?
Yeah, because I forgot. I don't know if it was you playing or saw someone playing. I think it might have been my brother's friend. Yeah. Like there was just a guy who's just like, you know, I'm just gonna walk around with a shotgun. You can't kill me. Yeah. That's my game.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
God, it is pretty bad, and I could. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I don't know. I don't know any of the engineering behind it.
Right, exactly. You know? And because I don't know, that's why I don't think they're gonna do anything about it. You know. Yeah. But I hopefully I'm wrong.
See, and that sucks though because the Call of Duties are like I said, they're probably 4 of the top 5.
Dude, I'm telling you, Red Dead comes backwards compatibility. That's gonna be sick. The online for that was amazing for me. Granted, you probably didn't play it. Love that.
See, but I just don't see. Yeah, see. The truth is, I don't see any of these big companies doing it. You know what I mean? I don't.
What's the biggest game we have? Mass Effect, I think.
Mass Effect, and of course, BioWare is notoriously with their fans. You know what I mean? Like they made a brand new ending just because their fans were pissed. Like no other company would do that. Like Activision would not do that. I don't think.
Oh, you didn't like Ghost Dying? Too bad.
Yeah, like too bad. But yeah, I would say to you guys, do not buy this bundle. I never tell people that, but to me, this is the lowest of the low. This is at least like all the other ones. At least do look a lot better. This one's just like.
What about Donkey Kong Country on the Wii U? Doesn't look any better.
It's a brand new game, bro.
Country?
Oh, virtual console.
Yeah. Oh, you're fine with that though.
It's virtual console.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, well, you know,
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, well,
I bought the old Mega Man X.
Okay, well, here's the difference though. Here's the difference. Donkey Kong Country came out in 1994.
I can't play it on HDMI TVs. I don't have a TV that can play.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm just agreeing. Like I'm just going. Like I can't play that game on any of my monitors or TVs at home. Granted, I could if I bought, you know, the fucking adapter, whatever it is. But it's like it's not like, oh, I can just, you know what? Let me just pull out my my 64. Be like, okay.
It's not easy. No, it's true. And let me ask you this question: can you play, you know, Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii U?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, well, you can. It's backwards.
Okay, I know it's backwards compatible, but I don't know because I haven't played any backwards
Okay,
compatible.
but that's what I'm saying. It's backwards compatible. That's what we're talking about. The generation before, on the Wii U, you can play your Wii games.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't do that on the Xbox or the PS4.
Yeah, but remember, they're probably going to phase that out.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. But I mean, like, if you really want it, just buy the old
That's
version. Shit. Yeah. And see, I like that business model, and they did it for the last 2 generations where, like,
Even the DSs.
the first one is always backwards compatible, and then
The
later
second one
on
sometimes is too.
yeah, and then later on, like
It's just
toward
like-
the end, they take off the backwards
Yeah, because
compatibility.
they assume that the people that are buying it don't have any of the other ones.
Yeah, and don't care or
'Cause
give you the options.
Because the 3DS is still compatible with DS games. I'm not sure about the new 3DS, but I hope so. But I remember they used to have GameCube. Game Boy Advance.
Imagine like GameCube, like what? I'm buying it right now. Like,
Game Boy Advance.
did you just say that?
I can play Smash.
Somebody was watching the video and just pressed pause right after you said that and started running toward GameStop. You can play GameCube games on the. Hobby told me I could do it.
But yeah, so they had the Game Boy and then they phased that out, and I wonder if the 3DS has phased out the new 3DS.
Yeah.
I wonder if that phased out the DS games because I don't have one, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either, but I'm sure they will eventually. You know, once they, at least with the console ones, they always have like the slimmer version. The first one's always like fat, and then the next one's slim, and then you can't.
Do you think the next Xbox One is gonna look cool?
Hopefully, yeah, make it slimmer. Like, well, I don't even know. You can't anyways because. Like, it's not like it's backwards compatible right now. Like, you know, it's not like you can put your disc in and play it. So, man, mother. But yeah, anyways, don't buy a Prototype, please.
Or if you have never played it, maybe buy it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm no one to tell you what to buy, but I'm just saying if you've owned it before,
keep it.
Make a stand right here.
If you have never played it, I hear the game is really good.
Yeah. But
it's $50 though, so keep that in mind.
But if you own it, make a stand right here and say, I'm not buying this bullshit. They probably already sold like 1 million copies. Anyways, our last topic of the week, the internet phenomenon known as super sonic.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, was it Rocket League has become an internet phenomenon in the past week. It looks like you've played it.
I played it quite a bit.
I'm gonna play it for the first time tonight. It looks like a lot of fun. But the reason it was interesting to me is that a lot of people don't realize that this is actually a sequel to
supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars.
Yes,
that's the full title of the game.
We're not lying about that. Like, that is the full name.
There's 4 hyphens in this.
And it's just crazy to me because I'm always super interested in business stuff, and it's just crazy to me that this
Kickstarter,
this game was out before, pretty much the same game. Of course, they made this one better, but like same game.
Granted, we haven't played the other one, so we don't know.
But I saw some
videos.
You did?
Okay.
Same game, PS3, didn't take off. Maybe
it was on the PS3. That's why. It was on the Xbox 360.
That shit would have taken off. Yeah. No, yeah, but. Of course, the first thing I'm gonna say is the name sucks. Like,
supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars. You don't like that name?
No.
The name I could barely say.
Yeah, I know.
You don't like that?
It took you longer to read that than it took all fucking 51 people to sign the American Constitution. Like, no, dude, that's the worst name I've ever heard for any game. I can see where it has its charm. I see why they did it. But it just doesn't work.
It's like the acronym isn't even good.
Exactly.
That would have been funny if the acronym was amazing.
Yeah.
But the game was a stupid name. Like, who doesn't love that shit?
Yeah, like if the acronym was Rocket, then it'd be nice.
Yeah.
But the acronym is like back Q or something.
SARPBC.
SARP Bic. Cause Q.
I don't know where you got those extra letters.
I'm just throwing ZXRB. Like, it sounds retarded either way. Yeah. What do you think? Why do you think that Rocket League has become such a phenomenon lately? What do you attribute to it? Do you think it's just because it's a good game, it's gonna take off no matter what? Social media, Twitch, Twitter, what?
It's one of those things that's so hard to say because unfortunately you can't take social media out of it.
Yeah.
You can't retest it. You can't algebra.
Yeah.
Change the variable. No, it's there. It's going to be part of it no matter what.
Yeah.
Your game will be successful maybe, but that's going to do something with it.
Yeah.
If Syndicate were to play any game on Twitch, you're making $1 million. Like
if PewDiePie plays it.
Yeah, it's like these people play it, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
But so the game, the premise is very simple. You're a rocket-powered car.
An awesome rocket-powered car.
Yes. You can jump like in Speed Racer.
Yes.
And you're playing soccer.
And that's it. That's the game. Simplicity is king. Simplicity is
3-on-3, awesome. 1-on-1, 2-on-2.
Awesome physics engine too, though. Like the physics.
Yeah,
of the
when
game.
you can get them to fucking work. Work for you.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
The first time playing, I was like, where am I?
Yeah, like what's going on? Why can't? No, like it has the formula that's worked for Nintendo for 30 years. Easy to play, hard to master.
We were watching some people play, and it was 1-on-1, and the person made the sickest goalie save I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The guy had a perfect freaking power kick.
Yeah.
Straight for the corner. The guy jumps, rockets, times it perfectly.
Fucking
get out,
flying in like at the right moment. Rejected like Mutombo. Yeah, I mean it just. I don't know. It's just charming. It just looks fun, and everybody who's played it says it's fun. But like to me, it goes to show like, for one, I'm gonna say the first aspect to me is the name. Rocket League is simple. The logos use the car and a soccer ball. You know what I mean? It's just simplicity.
Yeah, it's like a sports logo.
Yeah,
like a an NBA.
Yeah, like
ML. I don't even know what the NBA one is. What do they have? Is it because the
NBA the NBA one is Jerry West, a silhouette of him dribbling the basketball.
Yeah, thank you. And then MLB is the
baseball player.
Yeah,
and simplicity, man, simplicity. And it's funny because they went the complete opposite. Because before they went complexity, they went complete. There was all complex.
Supersonic, acrobatic.
Say it one more time.
Why do I keep saying robot? Rocket-powered battle cars.
Yeah, and they went now. I think that somebody played the game, and he's like a marketer or something like that, and he just walked into the office and he's like, "Guys, like,
this is fun.
Yeah, like this is good, but let me give you some pointers here." And then the only pointer he gave him was Rocket League. Done, millionaires.
I have a wizard hat for my car.
A wizard hat for your car?
I have a wizard hat.
You can do that? What the hell?
You just put my car is, just the car that you get from the beginning.
Yeah. Has
a wizard hat, and for the antenna has Saturn on it.
Nice.
I was like, yes.
You can put flags too, I heard.
Yeah, you can put flags. Well, I'm not putting a flag. I want fucking Saturn on mine.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to play the game, but marketing, man. And then the other part of it too is, okay, how much did the wildfire of YouTube, how much
Twitch. Twitch is I think right now Twitch is a little bit better for gaming. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
No.
Okay. I think if the biggest Twitch person compared to let's say top 5, it's not fair to say PewDiePie because PewDiePie is on another level. So
he has fucking 40 million, not 40 really, but whatever, 20 million more subscribers than the next highest.
Yeah. Why? And I guess the thing is with Twitch is that it's interactive, and I think that hooks more people.
That's what I mean. I think it's better for that. They're both good. It's not it's like saying who's your least favorite Ninja Turtle. You're not saying you hate the least one. You know, you love them all, but it's just out of these two things.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it's just pure numbers. It doesn't. It's not even close. The biggest live streamer gets what, 30,000-40,000 people watching at once. You know what I mean? Dota. Yeah, I mean, unless you're a tournament or something like that. Yeah, well, obviously. But if it's just a big Twitch streamer, you're gonna get 40, 50 at the most. Whereas
that's a good amount.
Yeah. And of course, it's not just 40,000 people because people are coming in and out. So you figure maybe 100,000 people, which is good. Whereas a big YouTuber, any of just a Smosh did it or something, it's 1 million views right there.
2 days.
Yeah. So
maybe not 2 days, but
But like, so just pure numbers, I think YouTube is stronger. But I think that Twitch is essential into like people and like, oh, I want to see somebody playing live. You know, I think somebody sees it on YouTube and then goes on Twitch to see. To find. You know what I mean? I think they're interconnected in that way. You know, but yes, I think that if it wasn't for YouTube or Twitch, I don't think the game would take off. If this was 1999,
you don't think this game would?
No,
I think this would be the perfect couch game of your
friends. But who would buy it? You know, like even the name, like
oh wait, the original name or this one?
No, even this name, like even this name, like even
because I buy. You know, I'm completely different than you are when it comes to games.
Yeah,
you know, this would have sold me 100%.
But I'm saying, okay, 1999 too. The other thing is, it's not like you're buying it digitally. Like I'm just saying, like you go to if you when you buy it digitally, I'll buy like random shit too. Right. More so than me. But like when you went to the store in 1999, like you're looking for a AAA. Like you weren't looking for an indie game. You know what I mean?
Granted, in 1999, I didn't have any consoles, so I couldn't say shit.
Yeah, and even let's say even 2000.
I was in the arcade in 1999. Whatever they had.
Yeah, Bubble Bop or the what is it? The
Bust a Move.
Bust a Move. Yeah, love that game.
It's Metal Slug.
Metal Slug. Yeah. No, but even 2004, even 2005, maybe like before Steam really took hold. Before any of these other things that really push games in a different way other than traditional media.
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate things because around that time, you know, I was playing like 4 games religiously. Pokemon, like Smash, fucking, what else? Like those are the only 2 games I could think of like that I remember playing.
And both of those are social phenomenons that, you know, that shine through traditional media. Something like this, I think shows the power of the new age of gaming, where you don't need to be a AAA $10 billion company.
Shovel Knight, Limbo, Amnesia, Outlast.
And there's always almost every month there's like this flavor of the month. Last month it was Ark, you know, or like 2 months ago it was Ark. It seems like there's always like some kind of game that grabs hold of the community for a month. I think that this game has more staying power than that.
I think you know, you're saying, I think you're like the way you're saying it sounds like really bad, but those games are still doing well. Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like, I'm just saying like there's always like every month it seems like it's a new game where it's like everybody's
it's
like,
not Minecraft.
Like this game is amazing.
But it's not Minecraft. You know, like that's a game that's it's never gonna die. As soon as it came out, it was like running, you know. Yeah. But yeah,
that's not the flavor of the month. That's not the flavor of the year.
That's a generation.
Yeah, that's the flavor of life.
Yeah. Like, I guess. These games, I see what you mean. They're just more. They're good games. People will play them, but they don't have the staying power as much as like a Minecraft. Yeah. Which is the only game I can think of with its staying power. Like nothing else I can compare it. I can't compare anything else to it. No, it's besides maybe like World of Warcraft.
It's in its own league. Yeah, that's a different thing too. So yeah, I think it really shows the power of YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all these social media things that are just really
mostly Twitch and YouTube. 100%.
Twitch and YouTube, yeah, and then I think that they push games like this to a different level. Like DayZ is another one.
Arma 3.
Yeah.
and who remembers that game? Oh, DayZ? Yeah.
The mod? Like,
I'm so mad I didn't buy the DayZ bundle. There was an Arma bundle on Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle, guys. Go to Humble Bundle. That's your favorite.
All of it.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that was our news for the week. Once again, rest in peace, Iwata. I just want to reiterate that. Just sad. Yeah.
It's really, we can't.
Yeah,
I you know, you have some emotion, but like we don't know him well enough at all.
Yeah,
like we know his business side, and you know, very personal as well. Yeah. But it wasn't nothing we can't just. We don't know what to say in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's not like we knew him or anything like that, but just had strong positive feelings toward him. So just wanted to say that before we go. But anyways, guys, thank you for joining us on this week's podcast. We will be back next week.
Maybe not. I'm just kidding. we don't never know.
It's raining in Southern. It's raining in summer. Bad. Yeah, it's raining in the summer. Sign. In Southern California, that's.
I like the thunderstorm that was this morning.
Yeah, that was cool. but that's weird.
Right now, we're not used to. We forgot what water is.
Yeah, we've been in a drought for like 10 months.
Which we honestly didn't feel it, but now I'm like, water is good.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.